everybody. Jennifer here for Belladonna's Botanicals again. And today on Jennifer's Insights, I want to talk about I don't know, popular topic in the occult. And that is one of incarnate deities. Are you the one true Satan? Are you the one true Lucifer? Are you the queen of hell? Are you Lilith incarnate? No, you're not. Now, however, you might have incarnate aspects of a particular deity or entity. And there are people who do readings and stuff out there that can identify through their gnosis, whom you might be an incarnate entity or that you might have aspects. Like I had a reading done and I have, you know, whatever. I have incarnate aspects of Hecate. Do I walk around going, I am the one true Hecate, bow before me? No, because I understand how it works. And the thing is, there are a lot of people out there that believe their own BS. There are a lot of people out there that really desperately need a therapist, a psychiatrist, and some heavy duty medications. Not to mental illness shame, because I got my own shit going on, but now there's people that will just troll things and be like, oh, I'm the one true Lucifer, and you can pick the troll types out. But there are the types that believe they're the one true Satan and they're the one true Lucifer and they're the one true Samael. And, once you meet like several of each, you're kind of like, no, you're not. You're probably definitely, most certainly not. You know, I would suspect that the one true Lucifer would have more than 300 subs to their YouTube channel, just saying. But it's not something and I can be petty, just saying. I will always point and laugh at this. I'll be like, so tell me more about you, one true Satan. What am I wearing right now? What am I doing? What am I thinking? Um, make that book fall off the shelf and then I'll believe it. Um, do I think that people can have incarnate aspects of a particular, whether angels, demons, any particular deity? Sure. I think that's perfectly reasonable and possible. But human ego is what human ego is. If you tell someone, especially when you're not feeling and when you are not coming from a place of standing in your own power, you're not empowered, and someone says, hey, you're Lucifer incarnate, it might feed your ego in a way that leads you down a path that is more akin to religious psychosis and delusion than enlightenment or personal gnosis and exploration and empowerment. That and that can be very dangerous, in a sense, because it's a crazy world we live in, and people do some heinous shit. If you're walking around going, I'm the one true Lucifer, I can do whatever I want. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. Um, but it also is a matter of just like checking your ego and your sanity. I have had mental health issues pretty much my entire life, but I can pretty much tell what's reality and what's not. And if there's a schism happening in which reality is breaking and I'm about to have a psychotic break, I know what that is versus, oh, hey, I'm Lilith incarnate. I'm the queen of hell. And believing it and convincing myself and trying to convince others that I am Lilith incarnate, which I think was a song by the Cradle of Filth. No, Lilith Immaculate, I think, is it what I'm thinking of. Anyways, Um, so I would be careful out there if you encounter people who are claiming, for occult street cred that they're incarnate deities. It's the same. Yes, there are hereditary witches and stuff like that, but a lot of people claim things to give themselves street cred, to sound more legit. Um, whether it's true or not, who knows? I just think that when it comes to this, and I see this a lot more on the left-hand path. Well, maybe that's just because it's where I'm at. I've been hanging out for the past few years. And it's always the Satan, Samael, and Lucifer, the ones that people claim to be the one true incarnate of. Um, you're not. I'm sorry. I've had a lot of you try to convince me of it. Um, and you're like, oh yeah, I know you're just gonna say it's delusional and whatnot, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, it's because it is. That's because it is. And and anytime I've had encounters with that type, it's always from a place of ego, because they're looking down on people like me, or any of us who work with these entities regularly, like, oh, you're just cosplaying, or you're just, LARPing Lucifer or whatever. And like, and acting as if they 100% legitimate believe they are this being. Um, could they be the one true Lucifer? Sure, maybe. Again, don't think they'd be living in their mom's basement with 300 YouTube subscribers, but I digress. I would think they would be doing something a little more worthwhile in their time than trying to convince people on the internet they're the one true Lucifer. So there's that. Um, hey, not everyone believed Jesus was the son of God, or that Mary was a virgin, or any of that stuff. So, and and in the Christian mythos, the people waiting for the second coming of Christ are going to be the same people that are nailing the second coming of Christ to a cross again. So, um, because we're programmed to not believe this. If you watch anything about cults, people like David Koresh or Charles Manson or anything like this, all of these people had that psychological God complex, that narcissistic personality, whether it was coupled with psychopathy or sociopathy. Um, there could Charles Manson have been Jesus, or David Koresh? I certainly hope not. Um, but you look at the actions that these people do, the things that these people have done, and the types of cults they've led, and that they've convinced people, because there's so many spiritual seekers out there. There's so many people that are broken and searching for answers, and these people prey on you, and they will. I mean, look at Jonestown. I mean, Jesus, you know, how many hundreds of people drank the Kool-Aid. So there's a reason, there's expression, don't drink the Kool-Aid. You know, you don't want to be following these people into a place you can't get out of eventually, and there is a danger in that. um are any And I've talked extensively about, you know, cults and cults of personality. And it can come in all sizes, shapes, and forms. I mean, it's not just something that falls into the left-hand path. I mean, there's plenty of like new age woo-woo, white light, um, stuff out there too. So when you're following a cult of personality, especially one that might be like hinting at, I mean, they may not out and out come and say that, they're, an incarnate deity, but maybe they're the chosen ones, that they're chosen by Lucifer or, whoever, that somehow they're elevated above and you need to follow, worship them, and support them because they're chosen. They're special, special little snowflakes. Um, they're not. They're not. And that's something you really need to evaluate. If someone is truly a chosen one, they're not gonna be like, "Hey, look at that chosen one." No, they're not, because that's just ego. That's narcissism. That's psychopathy. Um, I mean, if you want to follow that, by all means, I'm not going to stop you, but I would at least urge caution to um, not throw yourself onto the sacrificial fire, not to blindly follow people off the edge of a cliff and believe people who are so that believe their own bullshit to the point that it's unquestionable. I question everything. I question, I'm not sitting here going, you know, I'm not the one true anything. I'm not, I'm not the chosen one. I'm not this. I'm just a gal, just a weird chick, um, who likes to talk a lot, but and has a lot to say about things. But I feel like if anything I want to do, especially with my platform and my channel, is to, you know, look at the experiences I've had, look at the types of people I've seen in the occult spectrum, and the ones doing the work, the serious work, really aren't going to be flashing it all around for street cred. Sure, a lot of people have great followings and, authors, books, content creators, product creators, whatever. Um, but most people aren't out there calling themselves the chosen ones or the one true Lucifer or the queen of hell or, you know, anything in that. Um, it's like all the people who claim to be have been Cleopatra in a past life. You may have been an aspect of Cleopatra or something in the general realm of Cleopatra, but you probably weren't the one true Cleopatra. Sorry, you know, um, or Marilyn Monroe. Those are popular ones. Everyone wants to be special in their own way, and sometimes the only way people know how to be special is by latching on to these egoistic ideals. And while it might seem innocent and not problematic initially, down the road, when you're, I'm sorry, but if you're calling yourself or and the people in your little cult, the chosen ones, it's a cult. You're putting yourself out there as cult leaders. And if you're following these people blindly and not seeing it, wake up. It's time to wake up and stop giving the false prophets food for their ego and narcissism. And do with that what you will. I'll be here being just a gal. I bring authenticity and honesty. And I can look back at my experiences and go, wow, okay, I fucked up there. I followed the wrong thing. Okay, now I see that person, why they're so problematic, or why people are like, yeah, that's cult behavior. I see it now. No one could, and the thing is, no one could really tell me. I had to experience and see it with my own eyes. And I will pass those messages along because I know there's a lot of people that still don't see it, but you'll get there eventually. We all do. Anyways, till then, Jen out. Love y'all.